Dara joins me now. It's so good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for making us laugh for 17 series.
17 is kind of eerie. That's kind of astonishing. We keep hammering them out, but the numbers keep totting up. But the weird thing is, it's like for me and Hugh in particular, the only two who are still there. We have waved through generations.
They have since 2005.
Yeah, no, there's a big. Somebody made as a kind of the office made these posters up, which are like this Sergeant Pepper's thing, and then I'm on the drum, and then there's like 50 faces, and it's half the number of people on it, of all these famous comics. And I look at it in a kind of bittersweet way, going, yes, how many great people will be on, but it's really a poster of how many people will no longer do Mock the Week because they don't need to do it anymore because they've got their stadium.
But they can but they still enjoy. I mean, the thing about it is, it does change. It has changed as it's gone on.
Hugely, and I think people still have an idea that it's still back when it was. Like Frankie left 10 years ago.
Did he leave 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was like sorry, 9 years ago.
Because it was very gladiatorial then.
It was.
It really was, and quite scary. And I know a lot of young comedians and also women were a wee bit intimidated, but it's changed completely now, hasn't it?
It's much more open. It's much more the conversational thing that I particularly like doing. But because people are listening to each other a lot more than they were. There was a touch where it was Frankie almost had Russell Howard on the other, just
just battering each other with gigs.
Just elbows. It was all elbows. And now it's a little bit more.
Of course.
You make a thing of it, and then it runs and becomes a very silly running joke.
Gosh. And you're never going to run out of material. That's the thing.
The world keeps offering us stuff.
The world keeps giving and giving and giving, and it can be going for the next 17 years.
Well, isn't that you say that it sounds like a jail sentence both to me and the audience, but yes, it could because it's just the week, and there will continue to be weeks.
There will continue, absolutely. Now look, reports of your death have been greatly exaggerated.
Hugely, yes.
Yes, I'm glad to say.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I fell into them of fake news, where I turned up on a website, like one of these kind of like clickbait websites, and it was a report that I had passed away hideously. But this is a story in the show, and I'm going to play it because that's something of a little surprise, but not as much as because it was a story that then I investigated further. I was sitting in Australia doing gigs in Sydney.
That's a bit weird, that scene.
Somebody sent me a link when I was sitting in Australia, and I had to ring my mother and go, by the way, no, it never. It was so obviously ridiculous, the story, because the same story, and this is the way these websites work. I was the UK and Ireland version of it, and then when I did a bit of investigation, the exact same story there was a Nigerian version, a South African version, a Philippine version, and I then on the show, on the tour show, I go through it line by line. And if you write a story which then you localise, it just gets sillier and sillier and more ridiculous as the story goes on. But it was in a year where you're kind of going, what will I talk about? It is nice to be handed a story.
Indeed.
Here is a 10-minute routine.
There you are.
Which will kill you off and then watch you enjoy it.
Because you still love doing stand-up, and you're going to be doing more later on in the year, aren't you?
I'm about 85 dates into a tour, and this will go on, I think, for about another year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, because now you tour Oslo, so Norway, you tour Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, you do Moscow, you do Australia and Canada.
And they all get it?
It's remarkable. It is. At one stage, I stopped a gig in Bergen, I think it was in Australia, and said, I just said the words medieval soothsayer, and this isn't even your first language, and you got this, and all the Norwegians went, they're all stunning.
Puts us to shame.
And they get, places like Scandinavia get things like Mock the Week.
Yeah.
So they've seen the stuff, like whatever. But we're now, it's like it was a secret between all the comedians. You'd meet, for example, I did Tromsø, and Tromsø is on the far northern end thing, right at the very top of the all there. And I said, well, it must be great to have a comedian come and visit you here. And I said, Bill Bailey was here yesterday.
We've seen them all.
They've literally, you all do it now. There's no novelty at all.
Now, look, tell me, is Stargazing going to come back?
Yes.
Because you know we're fellow nerds.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Tromsø and Northern Lights and all that, Stargazing will be back. We believe it's going to be back next year. For some reason, there was a fallow year, but there was not any particular...
There you are.
They are. Look at us. We're very happy.
I love your passion and your enthusiasm. It is an
easy thing to be really into. It's space, for God's sake.
I know.
But next year is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo movement.
I can't believe that.
So that seems to be a really good reason to come back and do a big
absolutely.
thing. See, we kind of spoil people because we put a man onto the space station. Not we personally, but me and Brian put a man on the space station. There was an eclipse.
Yep.
We did the first show that ever did live footage of the Northern Lights.
I remember, yes.
So we hit all these big landmarks, and then we said, well, there's just a normal sky. And I think the BBC went, no, can you not put another man into space? It doesn't happen that often. We can't just fire some. We'd love to, but we can't just fire somebody up. So, we got bigger and bigger and bigger, weirdly. And so I think a 50th anniversary of the moon
it has to be. Has to be.
Yeah.
And what an amazing thing that would be extraordinary.
It'd be glorious, yeah. It'd be fantastic. We don't know what we're doing with it, but we'll have to do something with it because it's going to be amazing. But yes, absolutely stargate.
Good. I'm very glad. I'm relieved to hear it.
Yes,
so tonight, though, Mock the Week, before all of that happens.
Oh, Mock the Week is more in the... After talking about the stars, we're back in the gutter of digging our hands into Labour Live and the World Cup. And we've got an Icelandic comedian on who's really sweet because like they're really enjoying. And they enjoy it. Unlike here, that gets a big... can we enjoy the victory? Can we not enjoy it? Does this mean we're getting too happy about winning? Like Iceland is just like, this is great.
They just love it.
Yeah.
Have a beer and enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, if Ireland are ever in it, we're just thrilled. We're just going, this is 3 nights in which we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Likewise. Dara, thank you for coming in.